going on, everybody? It's your boy Moneybag Brian. Today's episode, we're going to be talking to you about the Zang organization and the investigation that led to them being charged with money laundering over $25 million. With that said, let's get into it. In May 2021, a Boston area member of the Zang organization, a man named Huang, began to have a series of discussions with a cooperating witness, a man named Joe. Huang asked Joe, on behalf of his boss, later identified to be a man named Zang, if Joe knew anyone who could launder the proceeds of drug sales by converting United States currency into Chinese renminbi, and then having those funds deposited in Chinese bank accounts. The FBI task force designed an undercover operation to identify the network of money launderers working with Huang's group, and to identify the sources of the illicit funds that the group sought to launder. Agents directed Joe to make Huang a counter-proposal. Joe would agree to introduce Huang to other criminals, in reality FBI undercover agents who could help Huang and his group convert drug funds into cryptocurrency. In June and July 2021, Joe introduced Huang to two undercover agents, Richie and Jay. Richie spoke Mandarin and posed as a West Coast-based criminal. Jay posed as Richie's partner and a money launderer based in Boston. Richie explained to Huang that he used Jay to launder money, including drug proceeds, by converting the funds to cryptocurrency, which could then be more easily transmitted to China or elsewhere without being detected by law enforcement. Richie and Jay explained to Huang that Jay charged a fee for this service and that the fee varied based on the level of danger involved. On July 28, 2021, agents recorded a meeting between Joe and the undercovers and Huang in Newport, Rhode Island. During this meeting, Huang explained to the undercovers that his boss needed to launder large amounts of proceeds from marijuana trafficking. The undercovers in turn explained to Huang how the group's drug proceeds would be converted into cryptocurrency. Once Huang contacted Joe to report he would have cash to convert, Huang and Joe would agree to meet at a predetermined location. Once there, a courier would bring a bag containing a bulk cash delivery. Joe would confirm that the correct amount of money had been delivered. Joe would then contact Jay by phone. After Jay received confirmation that the funds to be laundered had arrived, Jay would transfer an equivalent amount of cryptocurrency minus a fee for the service to a digital wallet provided to Jay. The person in control of the digital wallet would be able to confirm the transfer within seconds. During the meeting, Jay made a small cryptocurrency transfer to a digital wallet that Huang identified as belonging to his boss. When Huang called his boss, Richie observed that the contact name on Huang's telephone was Hua. Agents reviewed telephone records from Huang's cell phone and determined that Huang had called a number which, according to a law enforcement database, was a telephone number associated with Zang. In August of 2021, Huang began to contact Joe to arrange meetings to drop off bags of cash to be converted to Tether, a type of cryptocurrency. Huang contacted Joe to advise that he had a customer with cash to drop off. Huang provided Joe with a location and an approximate time for the meeting and the amount of cash to be converted. Before the meeting, agents met with Joe and searched him and equipped him with an audio-video recording device and surveilled Joe to the meeting location. At the meeting, Huang's money laundering customer would arrive with cash, which would be provided to Huang and Joe. Jay then transferred an equivalent amount of Tether to a digital wallet controlled by Zang. At the outset, fees were added to the bulk cash drop-off to Joe. When the meeting ended, agents followed Joe to a predetermined meeting location where Joe was again searched and turned in the recording equipment and the collected cash. Agents counted the bulk cash, placed the cash in a temporary vault, and eventually deposited the cash into an FBI account. On August 6, 2021, Huang arranged to meet Joe at a TD Bank parking lot in Quincy to convert approximately $30,000 in cash to Tether. Before Joe arrived, agents observed a black Acura sedan registered to Huang and his wife parked in the lot. For 20 minutes, Huang and Joe were in contact with their respective partners while continuing to speak to each other. At 7:21 p.m., a blue Porsche Macan arrived at the location, and Huang approached the passenger side window of the Porsche. Joe walked over to the Porsche a short time later. The Porsche pulled in behind the Acura, and while Joe was present, agent observed Huang used the speaker function of his cell phone to talk to a voice agents identified as Zang's. At 7:43 p.m., agents observed someone pass a white bag from inside the Porsche through the passenger side window to Joe. Both Huang and Joe left the bank parking lot. Agents followed Joe to a predetermined meeting location and turned in a bag containing $30,550. After the meeting, Joe advised agents that he observed Huang dial the phone number for the courier who delivered the cash in the white bag and provided agents with the number. When agents ran the number through a law enforcement database, the number was associated with Chen. On August 7, 2021, agents showed Joe an R&B photo of Chen. Joe positively identified Chen's photo as the driver and occupant of the Porsche. On August 19, 2021, Huang, Zang, and Chen again worked to launder $30,500 in cash. For this deal, agents introduced a second cooperating witness, Frank. Also, because Huang wanted to meet Jay in person, Jay was present at the meeting. Huang arranged to meet Joe at an address in Quincy, and after the meeting started, agents observed Chen driving a black Ford F-150 truck, registered to him at the meeting location. Joe and Frank and Huang approached Chen's Ford F-150 truck. Shortly thereafter, Jay arrived and parked his vehicle nearby. Chen brought a pink and blue bag containing $30,500 in cash. Chen handed the bag to Huang, who in turn handed the bag to Jay. While Huang and Chen were present, Jay converted the cash to tether and sent the digital currency to Zhang's digital wallet minus the laundering fee. Zhang confirmed to Jay by phone that he had received the digital currency transfer. On November 16, 2021, agents directed Joe and Frank to place a recorded telephone call to Zang. Joe and Frank introduced themselves as friends of Huang who had done U, an abbreviation for USDT or Tether, transaction in Boston with Huang. Joe reminded Zang that he had spoken to him before with Huang. Joe introduced Frank as an assistant to Richie, the West Coast-based criminal. During the call, Zang explained that Huang does not have a high degree of tolerance for larger cash transactions, and that Huang cannot carry the burden if something goes wrong or the money is taken away by law enforcement. Zang stated that if the transaction can be done face-to-face in New York, Zang can do at least 20, meaning $200,000. Joe said that their bosses, Richie and Jay, would also agree to send someone to New York for cash pickups. Zang told Joe and Frank that he could do $200,000 to $300,000 a day, maybe up to $500,000 a day. Zang said he just found a new agent in Boston who is handling 5, meaning 50,000, to 10, meaning 100,000 units. $100,000 units for Zang every day. Agents identified this agent for Zang as Roger Luo, who made several Buckcat drop-offs in November 2021 and January 2022. After this call between Joe and Frank and Zang, agents were able to use Joe and Frank to communicate directly with Zang. The money laundering operation worked exactly as described above. The ability to communicate with Zang directly obviated the need for Joe and Frank to coordinate transactions through Huang. Between November 2021 and January 2022, Luo, a Boston area carrier for Zang, delivered bulk cash to be converted to Tether to Joe and Frank on 4 occasions. On November 22, 2021, Zang and Joe communicated over a WeChat messaging application where Zang arranged for Joe to collect $70,000 in cash to be converted to Tether. Zang told Joe to meet a male Chinese courier at a Starbucks on Adams Street in Milton. Agents surveilled Joe to the Starbucks at 10:17 a.m. At 10:23 a.m., agents observed a Chinese male wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, black pants, and a black face mask enter the Starbucks. Joe then walked out and sat at a table with the man who was carrying a large brown paper bag. At 10:38 a.m., agents received a phone call from Jay, who reported that Joe called him to confirm that Joe was in possession of the cash. Jay transferred $70,000 in Tether to Zhang's digital wallet, and Joe gave agents the brown bag containing $71,050. On November 30, 2021, Joe arranged with Zang to conduct another cash pickup in exchange for USDT, totaling $203,000. Joe and Zang negotiated the cash pickup over Telegram, which Zang had requested they use. Joe and Frank met with Luo in Cambridge and collected the $203,000. and Jay sent $200,000 USDT to Zang's digital wallet. On January 12, 2022, Zang and Jay used Telegram to arrange for a $70,000 cash pickup. Zang told Jay to send Joe to a Whole Foods parking lot on Harrison Avenue in Boston. Agents observed Luo arrive at the Whole Foods carrying an orange bag. Luo got into Joe's car at 2 p.m. Joe, who was still with Luo, called Jay to report that he had $71,050 in cash and to transmit $70,000 in Tether to Zang's digital wallet. On January 14, 2022, agents conducted a deal with Luo, this time for $101,500 in cash at the South Shore Place in Braintree. At 11:30 a.m., Joe arrived at the parking lot and parked near Lord and Taylor. At 11:32 a.m., agents saw Luo on his phone near the Cheesecake Factory restaurant. Agents saw Luo walk towards two cars, a white Toyota Highlander and a red Jeep Liberty. Agents observed a female in the Highlander. After Luo made it to the cars, Luo turned and walked back to the Cheesecake Factory with a large black shopping bag, and the Highlander drove off. Joe drove to where Luo was standing, and Luo got into Joe's car. After a brief meeting, during which Luo provided Joe a black bag containing a cardboard box with $101,500, Jay transferred $100,000 in Tether to Zang's digital wallet. March 2022. Zang and his associates began to use a token system to verify the identity of the UCs or CWs who would pick up Zang's cash and later drugs. First, the UCs or CWs would send a photo of a dollar bill to serve as the token for the transaction. Zang or one of his associates would send this photo to his money or drug courier. When the FBI UC or CW would arrive to accept the cash or drugs, he or she would give Zang's courier the actual dollar bill, verifying that he or she was the person who was supposed to retrieve the cash or drugs. On March 15, 2022, Zang advised Jay to expect to receive a bulk cash delivery from a customer of Zang, eventually identified as Nguyen. During an exchange of text messages, Joe sent images of the dollar bill to Nguyen, and Nguyen and Joe agreed to meet the next day at the parking lot of a Chipotle restaurant in Saugus. On March 16, 2022, agents observed Joe enter a Toyota Tacoma truck registered to Nguyen. Joe showed Nguyen the dollar bill that he had previously photographed and sent by text. Nguyen told Joe that the funds being picked up were from marijuana sales and handed Joe a black bag containing $103,800. Jay then transferred Tether to Zang's account. Agents photographed Nguyen as he left the restaurant and identified him from the video recording and surveillance as the man who dropped off the cash to Joe. On April 11, 2022, Zang contacted Joe and told Joe that $100,000 needed to be collected from the same Vietnamese group that Joe had met with before. At 10:20 a.m., agents began surveillance at Nguyen's home. Agents saw Nguyen leave his home carrying one gray and one yellow bag. Agents eventually asked a Massachusetts State Police trooper in a marked cruiser to conduct a traffic stop of Nguyen on Route 495 near Rentham. Nguyen provided the trooper with a valid Massachusetts driver's license in his name. Nguyen informed the trooper and agents that he had a firearm under his seat in a locked box, and that he had a license to carry the firearm. He also admitted that there was a bag of cash in the back of the truck. Nguyen claimed that the cash was a down payment for a real estate venture collected from family members and that the cash had been in his truck for several days. When agents asked Nguyen for his phone numbers, Nguyen provided two numbers. When agents observed three cellular telephones on the passenger seat of the truck, Nguyen claimed that he did not know the number for the third phone and did not know how to determine what it was. When agents showed Nguyen how to look up the phone number on the third device, agents confirmed it was the phone used to contact Joe for the March 16, 2022 bulk cash drop-off. Agents seized a Glock 43 9mm semi-automatic pistol, two Glock magazines containing ammunition, and a gray bag containing $109,850 in U.S. currency from Nguyen's truck. Nguyen was provided with a receipt and allowed to leave. Later that day, Joe received a text message from an unidentified dispatcher working for Zang's network. The dispatcher told Joe that the driver could not meet Joe today and that the meeting was canceled. On May 26, 2022, Zang advised Jay to expect to receive a bulk cash delivery from a customer of Zang's organization, eventually identified as Augustin Villa. Over Telegram, a dispatcher working for Zang contacted Joe to meet the courier at a Home Depot in Cranston, Rhode Island. Joe was sent a photograph of a dollar bill to Zang to be passed on to the courier. When Joe arrived, Zang's dispatcher told Joe by text that the courier was driving a black Chevrolet SUV. 10 minutes later, a black Chevrolet Equinox SUV registered to Villa pulled into the parking lot. Joe entered Villa's car. Joe provided Villa with the dollar bill. Villa handed Joe a bag containing $75,860 in cash. Jay sent an equivalent amount of Tether to Zang's digital wallet. On June 1st, 2022, a Zang dispatcher contacted Joe to arrange a bulk cash delivery on June 2nd in the greater Boston area. Using Telegram, the dispatcher directed Joe to provide a photo of a dollar bill token and to bring that dollar to the cash delivery to verify Joe's identity at the meeting location, which was eventually determined to be a parking lot of a business in Quincy. Joe proceeded to the parking lot. Shortly after Joe arrived, a heavy-set Hispanic man, later identified as Mariano Santana, exited a rental car carrying a plastic bag. Santana walked across the parking lot and got into Joe's vehicle. Santana asked Joe for the token, which Joe provided. Santana told Joe that the bag he was delivering contained $30,000. After receiving the cash, Joe sent the dispatcher and Zang a telegram message confirming that Joe had received the cash. Shortly thereafter, either the dispatcher or Zang remotely deleted the group telegram messages arranging the delivery. Agents obtained rental car company records for the vehicle Santana drove to deliver the cash. Those records indicated that Santana rented the car. On or about June 7, 2022, Joe received another bulk cash delivery from Santana. Joe met Santana in the same Quincy parking lot to complete the deal. Shortly after Joe arrived, Santana exited the business carrying a black plastic bag containing $29,800 in cash. On January 10, 2022, Zang and an associate went to the One Brooklyn Hotel in Brooklyn, New York for a meeting with the FBI UCs and Joe. During the recorded meeting, Richie explained his fictitious money laundering business. Richie described how his business was mostly from Latin America. Richie indicated that he usually charges 7% for powder money, which was a reference to money derived from cocaine trafficking. Richie further explained that to safely launder this money, he would send it through multiple layers, and even if law enforcement investigated, the funds would not appear to be the proceeds of criminal activity. As a result, Richie told Zang both Richie and his money laundering customers were protected. Zang explained that he and his associates also received money from similar sources, but he received all of his money in cash. Zang indicated that the money he received in New York were mostly from cocaine trafficking, which he referred to as Latin America, or the proceeds of marijuana trafficking, which he called leaf. Zang also clarified that the money that appears to be from marijuana traffickers sometimes includes cocaine proceeds, which he referred to as white. Zang asked the UCs if they have dealt with what he called T5 money. In response, the UCs told Zang that the money they launder comes from all different sources. Zang explained what he meant by T5 money. According to Zang, these funds come from victims of fraud schemes. These funds are transferred from businesses or personal accounts when a victim is convinced under false pretenses to transfer money to a fraudster's account. Zang provided the UCs with the following example of a T5 scheme. A scammer uses social media, such as Instagram or Facebook, to lure a victim to invest in cryptocurrency. The victim is led to believe that he or she is making money, so the victim invests more. However, eventually the scammer takes the victim's money. Zang indicated that if the lost amount is small, neither the police nor the bank would investigate. But if the loss is large enough, Zang said the FBI could get involved. Normally, by the time the victim realizes that they are being scammed and report the fraud to the bank or police, the proceeds have been transferred out of the fraudster's bank account that was receiving the victim's money. However, once the fraud is detected, the bank or law enforcement would know that the receiving account was involved with an online fraud. Therefore, the accounts are often closed. Zang's description of the fraud schemes highlighted a problem that Zang and his associates discussed regularly with the UCs and CWs during this investigation and worked to overcome. Namely, finding ways to extract funds from the accounts to which fraud victims send money without leaving a trail of accounts that can be traced to the fraudsters who are responsible for tricking the victims into parting with their money. Beginning on January 25, 2022, Zang and Jay began to plan for a $200,000 money bulk cash pickup. At about 8:27 p.m., Jay sent Zang a message over Telegram. Cash pickup at noon. Zang responded, "We'll know by 11 p.m. after my guy picks up the funds." On January 26, 2022, Jay texted Zang, "How's it looking, bro?" Zang responded, "Still waiting for answers since morning." At 2:22, Zang sent a message, "I think it might need to be rescheduled." Jay replied, "Okay, let me know," and told him he was holding tether for him. At 8:29 p.m., Zang called Jay and they arranged to conduct a $190,000 bulk cash pickup the next day. Jay sent Zang the address of Frank's Pizzeria. Jay told Zang that he and Frank would meet him there. Jay told Zang, "I'll buy you lunch if you come," and Zang replied, "Haha, thanks." On January 27, 2022, a surveillance team accompanied Jay and Frank and another undercover agent posing as an employee of Jay to the restaurant. At 12:48 p.m., Jay sent a message to Zang over Telegram. "We are here having lunch," Zang responded. "Enjoy, we'll be there 26 minutes. At 1:13 p.m., Zang texted Jay, "I'm here." Jay replied, "You want to come in or you want Frank to come out?" Zang told Jay, "Just send her out." Jay responded, "Okay, she's coming." 3 minutes later, Zang texted Jay $190,000 only and not $200,000. Jay responded, "Okay, take fee off the top." Zang responded, "Yes, you can." Jay did the math. "Okay, I will send $162,200 and then add Zang, same wallet as before." Over Telegram, Zang forwarded Jay the address for the digital wallet. Agents saw Frank and Jay walk out of the restaurant and enter a white Toyota sedan. Agents saw two men in the car. Frank entered the Toyota alone. Zang was in the front passenger seat and an Asian male was in the driver's seat. Zang told Frank that it was risky to bring the money inside the pizzeria and that he felt more comfortable in the car. Zang told Frank that he needed Jay to launder larger amounts of money because the current volume was too small. Zang also asked Frank if Frank heard about the fact that one of his money couriers had stolen $200,000 from him last week. Frank was handed a bag of money by Zang. Frank contacted Jay, who wired the tether to Zang's digital wallet. Once Jay confirmed that the deal was done, Frank and the undercover agent walked back into the restaurant carrying the bag of cash, and the Toyota drove off. The bag contained $190,000 in cash. On January 30th, 2022, Zang and Jay exchanged messages over Telegram about a $25,000 wire transfer. Zang confirmed the account number with Jay, and Jay asked whether the exchange would take place tomorrow on January 31st, 2022 at 11:36 a.m. Zang used Telegram to send Jay an image of the Bank of America receipt showing the $25,000 wire transfer to an FBI undercover account, along with the text T5. At 11:52 a.m., Zang texted Jay, "Please check." At 1:35 p.m., Jay responded, "Okay, it's processing. Should clear in an hour and I will send $24,250. And same wallet?" Zang responded, "Yes." After this exchange, Zang sent Jay a 15-second audio message about a deal in a few days. Zang explained the source of these funds. "It's like gambling money. It's not scam money, it's gambling money. Right now I'm testing. They are sending the money to my account first. If it's okay, I'm thinking of sending some of the money to your account. Is that okay?" On or about August 11, 2022, Zang advised Jay that he had sent 3 kilograms of cocaine to the Boston area for sale. Jay agreed to pay Zang for a portion of the cocaine now and pay for the remaining cocaine at a later date. Jay and Zang agreed that Zang would be paid for the cocaine in cryptocurrency, transferred to a digital wallet provided by Zang. Zang had his courier contact Joe, who was working with Jay, by text message. Courier 1 advised Joe that the cocaine would be available for pickup the following day in Chinatown, a Boston neighborhood. Courier 1 and Joe arranged to meet around 11 a.m. near the South Station MBTA terminal near Chinatown. On August 12, 2022, at approximately 10:50 a.m., Agents met with Joe near South Station. Agents searched Joe to make sure Joe was free of money or contraband and equipped Joe with a transmitter and an audio-video recording device. Thereafter, Joe drove to meet Courier 1 and pick up the 3 kilograms of cocaine. At South Station, Joe called Courier 1 on the number provided by Zang. A few minutes later, Courier 1 arrived. Courier 1 and Joe got into Joe's vehicle. Courier 1 told Joe that they needed to drive to where the cocaine was and directed them a short distance away to Beach Street in Chinatown. Once parked on Beach Street, agents observed a tall, young, thin Asian male enter Joe's car carrying a backpack. While inside the car, he pulled a cardboard box from the backpack and left the box for Joe. Inside the box were 2 kilograms of cocaine in vacuum-sealed bags and 1 kilogram of cocaine inside a clear plastic bag. They both then got out of the car and walked out of the vehicle and walked away on foot toward Chinatown. Damn, $25 million. That's what the FBI says these guys laundered to Brazil, Cambodia, India, China, just all over the world. These guys were just cleaning money, turning it into cryptocurrency, and then just sending it out. It's crazy how even though these guys still got caught, like in the process, the FBI was almost helping them, you know? And it's like someone still got that money. Like, you know what I'm saying? At least I think they still got that money somewhere, you know? They don't really recover that. So it's weird how that whole shit just worked out. But even more crazier is how all it takes is just one guy to just take down a whole organization. Just one guy, criminal witness 1, Joe, his involvement in this was he owed someone some money. He was scared, so he went to the FBI. Obviously, he got into contact with Huang, who put him on to what was going on. He goes back to the FBI, tells them what's going on, and then, you know, he starts working for them. They gets them involved. They start working undercover, and just that, man, they take down a whole organization, you know? I'd be like, damn, bro, like, you could have just told me, yo, listen, I'm having trouble, and that's it. You don't have to go take down all these people with you. I mean, but that's how it is, though. You know, 9 times out of 10, the FBI, the police, it's always just someone helping them. You know, it's never them just doing it all by themselves. They get someone, they help them, they do whatever they gotta do to get someone who's in or can get in to just start talking and collecting information on the guys that are doing all the real legal stuff. You know, they want the big guy, the top guy. They don't want the little people. You know what I'm saying? But so that's just crazy to me. But that's it for today's episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Until next time, I'm your boy Moneyback Bryce. This is Top 5 on the Rise.